Hi everyone, and welcome to the very first devlog for a game I'm calling Typesmith. Typesmith is basically a game that tries to combine the zen-like flow state of something like Monkeytype with the quick dopamine hits of number go up from Balatro and kind of the shop and upgrade system and the power fantasy of something like Vampire Survivors. Yeah, sounds like a weird idea, but I really wanted to work on this because I am very addicted to Monkeytype, and I thought, why not try to create something like Monkeytype but better? And yeah, so in this video I'm going to take you guys through kind of the journey of like building this prototype, where I started and where I'm at right now. And if you guys want to try the prototype build, I'll upload it to itch.io and leave the link in the description so you guys can check that out there. So the very early version of the game I have is this one. It's quite simple. On the left we have the blue player or the core, and basically your job is to defend the core from the oncoming words from the right. And it basically uses a super simple lane system, kind of like the original Plants vs. Zombies, where the zombies come in different lanes. This one does exactly the same. All of the words come in a lane and they're basically all stored in a text file, and I'm just picking a word randomly from a list of a bunch of words. And so the idea with this one was kind of the words come in from the right, and at a certain speed it would allow the player to kind of read ahead, just as like touch typists do when typing really fast. But it didn't really end up working out. I ran into an issue where after you messed up once or twice, the next words would be right up behind and they would all just crash in at the same time and wouldn't give the player any chance to recover. So I ended up changing it to this system where the words kind of come from all around the place. And I know there's only just one word at a time, so it still has that issue of like not being able to read ahead. I fixed that in a version that's coming up soon. But here I kind of added a score system, a multiplier for each of the letters. So like if the letter is more rare, you get more points, and also a streak of how many letters you have typed successfully in a row, and kind of a multiplier based off of that gives you additional score the more keys you have typed in a row. And then if you mess up, then the multiplier reduces and therefore you get less score. Another thing I added with this build are relics. So relics are basically the items. You can think of them as analogous to kind of like the jokers in Balatro. They give you extra multiplier and score or points per each word that you type. Here I've just kind of given them to myself as a little bit of a modifier just to test out the game feel. I might add other items in the future or abilities in the future, but I haven't thought it through fully yet. So this is the next iteration of the project. Not too much happened here. I basically refined the scoring system, the multiplier. All of them got adjustments and just kind of went by how the game felt. The other change I made was basically just putting the relics into kind of like an inventory system, so they can be attached to the player or sold at a shop. I might do other things with this, like maybe corrode a relic, or add a mechanic where you can lose a relic after a certain amount of rounds, or maybe a boss can take some of your relics away. Then I did a very minor change of the round-based system. I made it so that every certain amount of rounds there'll be a special room, a boss room or something. And then I basically designed the system for that. As you can see at the bottom progress bar, you can see which room or which round you're currently in, and then every few rounds the red dot is the special round, which is either going to be a boss round or some sort of a special room. I haven't really thought that far yet, but that's kind of the system I was trying to go for here. So here I did another big update and added a shop to the game. So at the beginning of the round, it gives you some items to choose from, and you can type their name to start with the item. And then in between every round, a shop is presented to you where you can buy and sell your items. So now kind of there's a full integration between the relic system and the shops and the starter shop. And then some items I'm thinking of labeling as starter only, maybe even a mechanic where if you hold a starter item long enough, it can upgrade to something like a legendary item. But that's not implemented in this build, but it does get implemented later. So this is kind of the start of that. And then here, ignore the background. I was having a issue or a bug with the background, but the main thing I added was a kind of a target amount of score to hit for each round. So I didn't like the fact that you had to wait an entire run or you had to wait the entire timer for the round to be over, no matter how fast you type. So I implemented this mechanic where each round you're required to hit a certain number of score, and then the little white dot kind of follows the timer, and you basically need to hit that amount of score before the timer runs out. And this integrated very nicely with the relic system and multipliers. So here your goal is to basically get your streak high enough and get enough OP relics so that this bar fills up fast enough, as in the later levels will be required for you to kind of complete. And so this is kind of the current prototype. The only new thing here is at the end you kind of get experience and levels, which will unlock more relics and upgrades. And also it gives you a graph for your words per minute and kind of all the key stats, like certain keys that you are bad at typing and certain updates, like certain keys you're getting better at typing, etc, etc. All of this information is kind of recorded, but it'll be provided in maybe a stats page or something. So that was basically everything new I had to show for this video. Thank you very much for watching. If you made it this far, I appreciate it. And if not, then you just decided to try out the itch version, that's fine too. Thank you for that as well. And if you haven't tried the game on itch, please try it out and let me know what you think and what I can add or improve about the game. But yeah, that's it for this video. See you guys later. See ya.